y'all? What's up? It's me again, L Teddy 27. This is Angry Teacher Chronicles, and today, the title is "Won't You Be My Neighbor?" And what we're going to talk about today is this neighborhood that we call YouTube, and I'm going to talk to you about, just my thoughts, insights, wisdom, whatever about these YouTube neighborhoods. And I know people like to refer to them as the YouTube streets. We'll talk about that whole metaphor in just a second. So let me start off by saying on my first video back, I went over it a little bit, but I said that I'm not a new YouTuber. Although you may see me with a very nominal amount of subscribers right now, that's only because I have purposely not tried to promote my channel or tried not to put it out there because I just haven't wanted to yet, and I wanted to get to a certain amount of videos first prior to me doing all of that stuff. But I go back, way back with YouTube, way back to '07. Some of my friends in YouTube have millions of subscribers right now. Hell, I founded a collab channel that received an award. So I have an award-winning collab channel that I was a member of and that I helped start. I founded. So I do have a breadth of knowledge on YouTube, although it may not look like it right now, but I really do. Anyway, that's not here or there. I wanted to talk to you because, like I said, I do have some things to say. And YouTube has changed a lot. I stepped away from YouTube around 2010, and I've been off for, what is that, like 9 years now. So, I'm looking at the lay of the land and the landscape over the last couple months, and I kind of got some things to say about this, and so we'll talk about it. So there's this whole metaphor where we talk about YouTube being this sort of neighborhood, and you'll hear people talking about these YouTube streets and so forth and so on. We'll get there in a second, but I want to talk about the different levels of YouTubers and equate them to different YouTube neighborhoods. And so we'll get to the "Won't You Be My Neighbor" part later. It's good. Good. Anyway, so the first neighborhood that I'm going to talk, the first area of the YouTube neighborhood is this is the area, the upscale area, the uppity area, the wealthy, affluent area of YouTube. This is where, for those people who are from Miami like I am, these are the Star Island and Fisher Island people who stay off, in wealthy areas where you have to have a certain amount of, you have to be in a certain tax bracket in order to live there. They have security gates for you to get in and so forth. These are the people who I equate to those YouTubers who have millions of subscribers, who were invited to New York last weekend, or last week, first week of May, by YouTube and paid for and sponsored. A couple friends of mine are in that level where, you know how I talked about to get on Star Island, Fisher Island, you had to have a guard gate in order to get on. These are people who have, not only do you have to subscribe to their channel, but you also pay a monthly membership to be a member, a paid member of their channel to get exclusives and things like that. YouTube flies them all over the country and all over the world to go and meet with subscribers. They don't pay for it. YouTube pays for it. These are the people who have seven figures in terms of their subscribers. And what do I have to say about people in this neighborhood? Just like in the actual real world, people in the rich neighborhoods, you know where they stay? In their neighborhood. They don't come out and slum it up with people in middle class or people in the lower class. They don't do all that. They stay where they are. They talk with their friends. If you're not on their level, you won't meet them. If you ain't come up with them, you definitely won't meet them. That's the way they are. These people are about making money. They are about their brand. They are about the dollar. They are about how many more views, how many more subscribers they can get, and how that equates to money. Their money makes money for them. They got videos that they made years ago, still making thousands and thousands of dollars for them. These are those people. Um, they know their role, they know their lane, they know their niche, excuse me, they have perfected it, and others try to emulate what they have done. That's what they are. Then we go down to what I call the lower middle class. Let me go back to the upper middle class. There are some of us black people in the upper echelons, in the uppity, the wealthy, well-to-do, affluent areas of YouTube. Not a whole lot, and we're talking about million plus subscribers. There are some. There's not a whole lot, but there are some. And those that have gotten to that point, they know how to work the machine. They know how to work the system. They know how to get the white, black, blue, purple, green, white, and yellow. Everybody watches them. They are a part of the fabric of American culture now. Um, so that's that part of the neighborhood. Then we have the middle class. These are the people. If you think about the real world middle class, these are people who they got some money. They're not poor. They may not be living paycheck to paycheck. They got a little money, maybe a little money in the bank, but they're not a part of that upper echelon. They would love to be there, but they're not there. Now, these are people who are who have thousands of subscribers. They're not in the million plus, but they do have thousands of subscribers. These are people who like to, if you notice something about middle class people in the real world, they like to brag on their jobs. Oh, I work here. Oh, I work there. Whereas the wealthy and upper echelon, they don't have to tell you where they work. They don't have to brag about anything because you already know who they are. And that equates to YouTube as well. A lot of times you'll get that middle class where they have to brag about, oh, I'm monetized. They have to brag about, oh, I have X amount of subscribers. They have to brag about, oh, did you see when I put up that video? The people on the upper echelon, they don't have to brag about that. They don't even have to tell you. You know before they do, almost. They don't have to say anything. You know. But that middle class is different. These are the braggadocious people. These are the people who try to be bougie. They're not in that upper echelon, but let them tell it they are. They're not at the level of that upper echelon, but they try to make people beneath them and some people at their level feel like they are. And that's the way it is on YouTube. These are the people who always are talking about people and how many subscribers they have, or the fact that they're monetized, or the fact that they're doing something for or they say somebody else is doing something for a click on a view or for a coin. Um, Also, a lot of them are happy at their level. Believe it or not, they are happy at their level. They would, like I said, they would love to be a part of that upper echelon, but the difference is there's a certain amount of sacrifice that goes with getting to that upper echelon, and they're not at the point yet where they may be ready to do that. I know some people on that upper echelon, they quit their jobs because they wanted to do YouTube full time, and that's what they're doing now, and it paid off because now they make more than um, what their job was paying them. But a lot of people in that middle class, they're not ready to do that yet. They're not ready to take that risk and that leap yet. Um, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just trying to, equate it and explain to you the different levels, of YouTube and this neighborhood that we call YouTube. Then you have the lower class, and there's two lower class levels, okay? I'm going to speak of the first one. on those people who are just beginning, just starting. These are people who, if you think about it in the real world, think of someone who just got out of college. They don't have any money yet. They're just getting started, just getting their legs underneath them, and they are at entry level in a budding career. Soon, maybe years later, they'll be at upper management, and then maybe, they work hard enough, be innovative enough, creative enough, they might get to that upper echelon. But they're certainly on the rise and on their way up. These are people who are working on perfecting their craft. They go and they make their videos. They look at their views. They see which videos work for them, which videos don't work for them. They see which videos put them in the best light, which videos don't put them in the best light. They look at branding themselves. They see, okay, that camera doesn't work for me. Let me buy a new camera. I didn't like that angle. I didn't like the way that makeup made me look. I didn't like the way I edited that. Oh, they're perfectionists in that because they're perfecting their craft. They're trying to get better. They're trying to be innovative. They're learning their lane. They're learning how to navigate in their lane, stay in their niche, looking at some of the strengths and weaknesses of those people above them and capitalizing on that and learning from their mistakes. And they're on their way up to middle class and eventually, hopefully, up to the upper echelon. Then you have the other faction of the lower class, which is the hood, the ghetto. This is where the YouTube gutter snipes dwell, the tatterdemalions, the troglodytes of YouTube are. These are the people who never focus on their own content. See, the people that are lower class but on their way up, these are people who focus solely on their content. Those are the people that are perfecting their craft. Like I said, they're perfecting how they present their content and getting better and better. The people in the hood and ghetto of YouTube, these are the people who they don't have no content. Their content is other YouTubers. Their content is YouTube drama because they have nothing of their own. So they concoct stories and drama based on other people. They have nothing to talk about. These are people who are not in the business of perfecting their craft. See, when I got into YouTube years and years and years ago, and a lot of those people that stayed are huge in YouTube now. We come from a day when there wasn't a such thing as going live, where every video you did had to be edited, had to be cut, and had to be, you had to look at what camera angle am I in. You had to see, did you say it right way? You had to go through perfecting the whole craft of creating a video, creating content, creating your intro, creating these slices in the video and splicing them together and these edits and stuff like that. Not the troglodytes, not the tatterdemalions, not the gutter snipes. They want the easy way out. What they're going to do is they're going to click the live button, click. They're going to talk for a little bit, only talking about other people, and then they're going to go off. They perfected nothing. In their own minds, they can make it off their own humor. In their own minds, they're the funniest people out here. In their own minds, notice I keep saying in their own minds, they're going to make it bouncing off of the drama between other people. These are people with finite ceilings. These are the people who want to be in the middle class, and the closest they get, and when they get just a little snippet of middle class, a snippet of subscribers, now they seem to think that they've arrived and they've made it, and they end up being that bottom rung of the lower of the middle class, the lower middle class. These are the people who they're just low budget. They're always out in the YouTube streets because they don't refer to YouTube as the neighborhood. It's always the YouTube streets, okay? Why? Because they always in the streets. They ain't got no porch of their own. See, in order to have a porch of your own, you got to have your own content. You got to have currency. You got to have built your own your own, structure, shelter, where you can go and sit on your porch and drink your lemonade and say, I'm not going to be bothered. They don't got that. All they have is the YouTube streets, because that's where they stay at. They stay in the streets windmilling. They stay in the streets talking about who they done dish ragged and who they done mollywopped, because they don't have no house of their own. They're gutter snipes. They're tatterdemalions. They're troglodytes. They're the homeless of YouTube. Okay, that is who these people are. All they know how to do is turn the live on and turn the live off. That's it. All they know how to do is rant and rave and cuss about somebody else. Because see, the thing about it is, if I'm over here in my house, if I have a house, if I have content, if I'm over here in my house, I don't give a shit what you got going on in your house. Why? Because I'm in my house. We're about my business. See what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, you don't even concern yourself with the people in the streets, because I'm in a fence. My house is fenced, okay? My house is fenced. I don't got to get in them streets. I live in a house. I'm not homeless. And so I say and so that's the other faction, as I said, of the lower class. The same energy that they're using, fighting and carrying on and windmilling out in the YouTube streets, they need to be putting that energy into finding and creating some real content, and to figuring out what their lane is, into perfecting their craft. So I would invite you to be my neighbor. Because see, in my section of the neighborhood, we don't concern ourselves with the troglodytes and the tatterdemalions and the gutter snipes. We are over here really creating content. We really have something to say. And we don't reach down there into the gutter, into the, I'm gonna go down there in the hood. And watch this. Sometimes, and even in the real world, how in the real world you have people who grew up in the hood and were able to take themselves out of the hood and escape. And some of them even become upper echelon, phenomenally successful individuals. But that came through growth. And the problem is, some people, just like in the real world, some people start in the hood and all they know is the hood and they want to stay in the ghetto in the hood. Others say, yeah, I grew up in the hood, but I'm going to get myself out of the hood. And I challenge some people that are in the YouTube ghetto and hood right now, might be homeless in YouTube right now. Find you some content. Build your house and get up out the hood. Yeah, you might have started there. Yeah, you may have gotten your first 1,000, 2,000 subscribers out in the streets because you were homeless. So you had to be in the streets always windmilling. But inevitably, your subscribers are going to want more. They're going to want you to build a house. They're going to want you to have some content to keep them coming back. And so I would challenge you to come to my neighborhood, because see, I have a house. I have a house. I have content. I have things to discuss. And I sit on my porch. And see, when you get upper echelon, see, middle class, sometimes we even get the lower class that comes up in your neighborhood, and you have to call the police on them and tell them, the gutter is over here in our neighborhoods, to get them out. But you can still kind of see them from your porch. See, what you want to do is you want to be in that upper echelon where they're not even allowed in your neighborhood. They're not even allowed on your streets. You'll never see them from your porch. I'm just saying. And that's all I had to say. So hopefully you got the metaphor. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say about this neighborhood that we call YouTube. And I would invite you to come. Won't you be my neighbor? I feel like Mr. Rogers. Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? That's all I got for today, y'all. I'll hit y'all up later. Y'all catch me on another video. I'm out. Y'all drive safely.